think. There's double closing. Okay. There is assignment deals. Okay, and it's at the end of the day is the same thing, but the difference is that for this one there are two transactions involved. Okay, two transactions. You buy and sell, right? You buy and sell. One you're buying, the other one you're selling. One is the A to B transaction. The other one is the B to C transaction. You are the B. You purchased the property on the same table. You sold it on the same table within the next few minutes to somebody else, to a cash buyer investor. This is always legal. Okay, the only thing that makes this illegal if there's a bank involved in a short sales or some kind of REO, real estate owned by the bank transactions, and they put a restriction that you cannot sell within the next 90 days or 6 months. They call it the deed restrictions, right? Sometimes they put that, but even a competent lawyer or closing agent will not let you close the deal anyway. So this is nothing for you as a wholesaler to typically worry about. When you have the contract, they'll tell you if you can resell it or not within the next few days or few minutes, right? But this is called the double closing because there are two transactions involved. The downside is that there are also two closing fees, set of closing fees, but I've done that so many times. I don't see what fees they are. They're typically under $2,000-$3,000 and you're making $10,000-$15,000. It doesn't matter. Remember, there are other professionals. The lawyers have to get paid, appraisers have to get paid, the closing agent have to get paid, the mailing, whatever, all the different little fees that they have. The title people, the title insurers have to get paid. These are the details you don't have to worry about. This is the details that title companies worry about in the deal stage. Okay, when it comes to deal disposition stage, right? But again, double closing will require something, right? In this time and age. Back in the days, we didn't have to do this. They use the same money from the end buyer to do the two deals because the money is just passing ways anyway, right? But these days, they frown at that, right? So, but it's not a big deal. You can use what they call the transactional funding to fund the deal, to fund the first deal. So there are two transactions, right? Transactional funding, right? That's the solution right there. There are two transactions, right? You're buying a property for $90,000 from the actual original owner of the property, right? But you're also selling that property at $110,000, right? To a second person. Let me use my first deal as an example, right? So my first deal as an example, I got it under contract for $95,000. Okay, $95K. Okay, so you can see my rule of $100,000 it's not about what you purchased it for, it's about the value of the property, right? But then I was able to sell it at the end of it. I was able to sell it for 215. Sorry, 215. All right, so I had a $20,000 spread, right? So in an assignment deal, it would be the same transaction, basically. To be the same transaction, right? Just one transaction, and then I will simply make a $20,000 assignment fee, right? Is one transaction, one closing cost, one set of closing costs. You save money, but here's the problem. They are frowning at that, and the regulations are coming after this type of structure. Okay, this is assignment deal. Okay, this is a assignment deal right here. I put that right under here. This is assignment deals right here. But in a double closing, right? Instead of doing that, I buy it at $95,000. Okay, so from A to B, right? And then from B to C, I sell it at 215, right? Two different transactions, right? So I need $95,000 to take care of this. $95,000 to buy this. I need that cash. Back in the days, I didn't need to bring the actual cash. This person is bringing 215 anyway, right? Sorry, my numbers are off, by the way. There's a $20,000 spread. Sorry about that. 195. I got it for 195, right? 215, right? So 215, 195, right? Is it making sense? Hopefully, right? So 195 right here. I'm selling it for 215. This person, I already found the buyer. They're gonna bring their own cash. But why not use the same cash, since I could just take my $20,000 and the same, because they want separate separate money identity to take care of the two transactions, since they are legally two transactions. So this is why the transactional funding guys come to the table. What they do is that they borrow you that 195 for a few minutes. They charge you what they call a 1 point. Okay, 1 point just means 1% of the total amount of money they are lending you. So for $200,000, 195, you're looking at about $2,000 for 1 point, right? But again, usually in this kind of transaction, I'm about to make $20,000, right? Okay, so in the closing cost for the first transaction, you can basically say part of doing business. At the closing, you don't have to come to cash. They will charge the transaction with 2 points. That's $2,000. So you're making $18,000. Okay, does that make sense? Now remember the story I told you in the beginning. When I got to the closing, the seller was not very happy because I was a newbie that was making 20 and I was bad at negotiating. I ended up making actually $10,000. But here's the difference. Okay, this will be one transaction. This person is paying for it. In the same closing, they're paying you a fee. They don't like to see that fee unless you are a licensed agent. Okay, these days the authorities don't like to see that. That's why you see all the regulations coming. Okay, so again, remember, this is an underground strategy that is absolutely legal, but because it's becoming more popular, it's attracting regulations, and this is part of the things you encounter in the regulation. So I wanted to break that down really quickly for you so you can understand. So let's go back to the basics. You find deeply discounted deals, you lock them up under a purchase contract, you assign a right. This purchase contract gives you what they call the equitable right in the deal. Okay, and that's essentially what you're selling to an end buyer. Everyone is happy because this guy gets his 195. This guy gets a property. The after repair of this particular property was around 285. So they could potentially make over $100,000 on this deal. Okay, for this actual particular property on Mon Avenue in Newark, New Jersey. Okay. All right, so that's wholesale 101 right there. So back to what I was showing you earlier. Let's go back here. All right, let me go ahead and share this ticker with you. That's everything that's scrolling at the bottom right there. That's access to everything you need to be successful with this game. But again, I'm giving you all the full game